everyone, and welcome back to another video with Magic or Old Magic guys. Today we're going to be doing a Born of the Gods Theros draft. Now, this is not a. I have drafted this format a couple of times, but not a whole lot of times. So we'll kind of be figuring this out together today. So taking a look here, we've got Whelming Wave, which is a decent board sweep, but not necessarily something you want to be first picking. We've got Ghostblade Eidolon, which seems pretty good, and I know that the white-based heroic decks in this format are pretty good. We've got a Nyxborn Wolf. This is a pretty good creature. We've got a Revoke Existence, which is decent removal, but not something I want to be first picking. I'm leaning toward this Ghostblade Eidolon. The Ferris Band Raiders is pretty good as well, but I think I like the Ghostblade Eidolon. It's a decent creature to bestow, and it's a decent target for further bestow creatures. So, and it's good to be in white because if that color is open, it is one of the best colors to draft in this limited format. So we're gonna go ahead and take that, and let's see what the next pack brings us. So here we have a Vortex Elemental, which is actually a very good card because it allows you to deal with a lot of the threats in this format. If we were going to take this, I would wish we'd taken the Whelming Wave as well. We've got an Asphyxiate, which is a decent removal spell. We've got a Fall of the Hammer, which is also a decent removal spell, especially if you're on the heroic plan, because you're going to have a lot of large creatures. Let's see, we've got another one of the token makers, Sunbun. I think we're going to take the Fall of the Hammer here because I know that it is one of the better removal spells in this format. So nothing else here really seems that impressive. We could take the Nyxborn Eidolon, but I think I'd rather have the red removal spell here, especially because red-white is one of the best color combinations in the format. Actually, I didn't realize this was here. I think I'm going to take this Bolt of Kurnos instead. This actually is probably a better removal spell in the long run, so even though it is double red, we're going to take that. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We have an Akroan Skyguard. That is a very good card, especially in the heroic decks, and that's probably what we're going to take here. We've got a Griffin Dreambinder, not really that great. Thunderbrute, which is a decent tribute creature, but again, not all that impressive in the grand scheme of things. Pretty sure we're going to take this Akroan Skyguard because it's a very good creature, and hopefully we can be white-based heroic deck. Yeah, heroic Akroan Skyguard is better than the Skirmisher, so that's what we're going to take here. Alright, so now we get Mortal's Ardor, which is a decent heroic pump spell. Raised by Wolves, also a decent card. A Ragemonger, which if we were in Minotaurs would be really nice, but I'm not really a fan of that archetype. Mortal's Resolve, also a decent heroic enabler. And Setessan Oathsworn, which is also a decent heroic creature. There's not a lot of white or red in this pack, which kind of has me worried about the colors that we're currently in. I'm kind of leaning toward this Mortal's Ardor, which is it keeps us from going into a second color already, or into another color outside of what we already have. Hopefully this may just be hopefully this was just a pack that didn't have a lot of good white or red cards in it, and we can still continue on this white-red plan. So that's what we're going to take here. Okay, so now we have a God-Favored General, which is a pretty good creature. We have a Nyxborn Rollicker, a decent bestow card. Excoriate, which is a decent removal spell. We have another heroic creature, which might be worth taking here. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the God-Favored General, giving us a lot of tokens. Let's see. Nyxborn Rollicker would also be pretty good, especially with an Akroan Skyguard. Putting this on a Skyguard on turn 3 would be really good. So, and the God-Favored General doesn't really play into the heroic plan because it's not heroic itself. It is an aggressive creature, and we would not mind having one, but I think we'd rather have the heroic card. Okay, so Alright, so this pack is not that great. We might take the Reckless Reveler here just because it is an aggressive creature. Um, the Lightning Volley would be good if we had a lot of inspired cards. So I think we're going to go ahead and take this Reckless Reveler and hope that we can continue down this red-white plan. There's not a lot in this pack that I would take over it anyway. The aspect of the Hydra would be good if we were in the white-green deck. Marsh Mist Titan would be great if we were in black, but we're not. So we're going to take the Reveler here. Okay, so we get a 5/2, a 2/4, a bunch of vanilla creatures. Astral Cornucopia, that's an interesting pick there. What I might actually take here is the Nyxborn Eidolon, which will, in the long run, it's not that. We may not be in black, but it would be good to keep our options open because white-black heroic is also a decent format, a decent archetype as well. Although we could take the Astral Cornucopia, which is a decent mana accelerator and fixer. For 3 mana, we basically get a Manalith. I think I'm going to take that, and that will allow us to splash any additional cards that we take later on. Okay, so we've got Immortal's Resolve, a Fellhide Brawler. These are some pretty weak packs. I don't really like the Griffin Dreamfinder, though it is a decent sideboard card if we play against an aggressive blue-white flyers deck. Eye Gouge is an okay removal spell. We're not interested in any in this or in this. If we were in green, this might be good. I think we'll take the Griffin just in case we play against a flyer deck. We can bring that in out of the sideboard. Okay. Well, this card is not great. We may take this Karametra's Favor. Just as an extra way to splash if we might end up in green or something of that nature. Epiphany Storm is okay. We'll take the Storm. Okay, so we're going to take the Great Heart here. 2 4s for 4. It's not great, but it can help fill out the curve. Now here, we are definitely going to take this Fearsome Temper. That's actually exactly what we're looking for here. Alright, so nothing in this pack helps us. What do we least want to play against? Probably this archetype. It's a very... no. It'd be very hard to deal with this, but we're on a plan of trying to kill them. Let's take this Marsh Griffin. Alright, so we'll take this. A decent Heroic Enabler. We're hoping to pick up a lot of white Heroic cards in the next pack. Since we haven't been letting any go by, we're hoping that our opponent to the left of us is not in white and will be passing us some decent cards. Of course, opening a bomb rare would be impressive as well. We get a Temple of Silence. That's not exactly what we're looking for here. But we do get an Observant Alseid, which is exactly what we're looking for here. So we're almost certainly going to take that. We've got a Mnemonic Wall, Shredding Winds, Messenger Speed, which is okay, Spark Jolt, which is okay, Temple of Silence, but none of these cards are even close to the Observant Alseid in the deck that we're trying to build here, so that's what we're going to take. Flamespeaker Adept is really good if we have a lot of scry cards, but we don't. Nemesis Immortals is one of the best creatures in the set, but we're not in green, so we'd rather have this Alseid, which helps our game plan. If this wasn't in the pack, if there wasn't anything that helped our deck, it would almost be worth taking this guy just so we didn't have to play against it. But we're going to take the Alseid here. Okay, so we've got a 2-headed Cerberus, which is a decent target for our Heroic Enablers, for our Bestow creatures. We've got a Divine Verdict, which is a decent removal spell, Titan Strength, which is a good Heroic Enabler, but something that we will probably be able to pick up later. A couple of good blue Heroic Enablers, but unfortunately we're not in blue, even a good blue Heroic card. So we're going to let those go. Hopefully that will encourage, along with this Curse of the Swine, which is also a really good card. So we're going to let all of those go in hopes that the player to our left drafts those and stays away. from what we're looking. I'm sorry, the player to our right stays away from what we're looking for, so we'll be able to pick it up in pack 3. My pick here is either the Divine Verdict or the Two-Headed Cerberus. The Cerberus plays really well with some of the cards that we already have, like the Rise to the Challenge, the Fearsome Temper, the Observant Alcide, the Ghostblade Eidolon, which doesn't really do anything because it already has first strike. But I'm going to take this, and hopefully we'll pick up a removal spell later. So here we have a Magma Jet, an Underworld Cerberus. That guy's really good. That might almost be worth taking just to splash. We do have the Astral Cornucopia. We also have a Magma Jet, which is a decent removal spell. It doesn't do a whole lot. Of course, we have the Crowan Crusader, which gives us tokens. So I think we're going to let the Cerberus go to take the Crowan Crusader here, which is really good. One of the better heroic 1-drops. Magma Jet is nice, but it doesn't do a whole lot in this particular format. We'll be happy to pick one up later, but the heroic Crowan Crusader, we're wanting to be a very aggressive deck here, and that fits right into our game plan, and is really good on like turn. We can ascribe, or we can bestow the Nyxborn Rollicker onto this on turn 2. So we're gonna go with the Crusader here. So we get Perforos's Emissary, which is decent. We get a Rage of Perforos, which is actually a really good card. Divine Verdict, although I would be more likely to probably take the Rage of Perforos over the Divine Verdict. The Emissary is really good, but it is very expensive. So if we were to get it later when there wasn't a removal spell in the same pack, that might be worth it. I think we are going to take the Divine Verdict here just because the instant speed and 4 damage sometimes won't be enough to deal with whatever our opponent has. So I like the Verdict here, and I think that's what we're going to take. These are some good cards for other colors here. Read the Bones, Rescue from the Underworld, Prescient Chimera, but we're going to take the Divine Verdict. Alright, so we've got a Boulder Fall, which is terrible. We've got a Threaten, a Last Breath, which is decent. But I think we're going to take this Dragon Mantle. Again, it's just a good heroic enabler. Not seeing any heroic creatures right now is kind of a problem, but certainly one we can overcome. There's something to be said for taking the Anchor of the Gods here, just sort of as a reset. We could also take the Priest of Aroa since we are in white, which gives us a removal spell in the late game if we need it against a lot of the enchantment creatures. But I'm imagining we're going to pick up another one of these later. And this is a pretty strong signal that red is open, this Anchor of the Gods. So I think we're going to take that just in case. It's possible our creatures will be above the damage that would be dealt from that. So, alright, so Setessan Battle Priest is not one of the better heroic enabler or heroic creatures because it doesn't really get anything when you heroic. It does gain you some life, which is decent. And it does fit our curve quite nicely, although it is only a 1/3. But we do have a lot of ways to pump it up, so I think we're going to take that. The Farah's Warden is okay, but it's a little bit expensive. Tormented Hero would be nice if we run the black deck. We'd probably take that quickly. But we're going to take the Setessan Battle Priest here. We get, let's see, Decorated Griffin. It's okay. Setessan Griffin, also okay. I think we're going to take the Portent of Betrayal here. It's good to have an effect like this, especially in a format that is designed around building the biggest creature. Because sometimes you can just, especially with our aggressive starts, we maybe just take a creature at the end of the game to finish off our opponent when they least expect it. So I think we're going to take that. Okay, so the Bronze Sable fits our curve. The Messenger Speed is a heroic enabler. Although we have a bunch of those already, and it's not super great. Like Dragon Mantle is better. So I think we're going to take the Bronze Sable here, just as another aggressive creature to fit our curve. So Ray of Dissolution is what we're going to take here. It is a decent removal spell in this format. So we're going to take that because it is a decent removal spell against a lot of the cards in this format and gaining 3 life, and it is an instant, so, and there's nothing really in this pack that's better for us. Okay, so we've got a Yoked Ox here. If we were black, this is a pretty decent heroic enabler. It's kind of expensive, but this guy is decent in the blue decks. We're going to take the Yoked Ox mostly as a sideboard card in case we play against another aggressive deck. We can just land an early blocker. Again, not anything here that really helps us, so we'll take the Guardians. And more garbage. And okay, so we've got a lot of misses here. We don't have the greatest deck in the world. Hopefully pack 3 may make things better for us. Well, that's, yeah, I don't know how we pass on that. So, there are a lot of good cards here. Leonid Snapcaster is decent in our deck. Cetizen Battle Priest, we already have one. Heliod's Emissary is really good. But I don't really see us passing on this Stormbreath Dragon because that guy can just win you games by himself. And he fits the top end of our curve very nicely. So I don't, yeah. There are a lot of other good cards in this pack, and hopefully we'll will some of it. But yeah, this is a windmill slam, as they say. So we're gonna just go ahead and take that. Okay, so now we've got a pretty dry pack for us. Let's see. Freaka's Cure is a good card. Prophet of Krufix is really good in the blue-green decks. I think we're going to take the Lagona Band Elder here. We have enough enchantments that this guy is going to trigger on a regular basis, and a 3/2 body. Although we are pretty heavy in 3-drops, so it might be worth taking this Ill-Tempered Cyclops. He's a decent creature by himself. I mean, a Hill Giant is... There's nothing to be ashamed of playing a Hill Giant in Limited. And this is a Hill Giant with upside, so... the Lagona Band Elder is okay, but again, we have a lot of 3-drops, and so I think we're going to take this guy, especially with him having Trample and us having a few Bestow creatures. I think we're going to get more value out of him, especially because we are a heavier red deck now that we have a 2. I mean, we have a lot of double red cards, so the more red we play, the easier it'll be on our mana. So. Alright, so here we get a Cavalry Pegasus, each attacking human. Let's see, we've got Crowan Crusader is a human, Cetizen Battle Priest is a human, that's a Satyr. Crowan Skyguard is a human, but he already is flying. So we got a couple of humans, not a whole lot to really make this super spectacular. We do have a Satyr Rambler, which is a 2/1 Trampler. That's pretty good with our heroic plan. The rest of this is not really anything we can use, though this Horizon Chimera is going to make the blue-green player very happy after getting that Prophet of Krufix, assuming it gets to him, but I can't imagine it wouldn't. So, I like the Satyr Rambler here, although the Cavalry Pegasus having flying and giving some of our... Yeah, the Cavalry Pegasus is too good to not take here, especially, even though we don't have a whole lot of humans, we do have some, and so it is enough to get in some extra damage when we need it, especially in the early game. Hopefully we'll get another human. So now we can take the Lagona Band Elder. Oh no, wait, we have a second Crowan Crusader, so I think we're going to take that just to help facilitate our early aggressive starts. So, and it is another human that plays well with the Cavalry Pegasus. If only the soldiers it made were humans too, that would be really good. But they do have haste, so we'll take that. So if we were white-black, the Scholar of Atheros is really good. Here we're going to take the Leonid Snarecaster. Helps take out early blockers. We're a really aggressive red-white deck here, so that's what we're going to take. Okay, so Arena Athlete, another decent heroic target with another way to make our opponent unable to block, which is really good in our deck. Two-headed Cerberus. We already have one of those. I don't really see another reason for a second one. So I think we're going to take, and this is another human, which plays well with the Pegasus that we have, so that's what we're going to take. I wish we had picked up like a what's the card, the 3 mana heroic flyer. I cannot think of the name of it at the moment. Um, but unfortunately, we did not see any of those. So, all right, I guess here we'll take the Lagona Band Elder that we've been avoiding up to this point. Which, I mean, it is a decent card that fits our curve pretty well. So, let's see. Peak Eruption. Another Observant Alseed this late? Yes, please. So, we could take another Cetessan Battle Priest. We could take the Fleet Feather Sandals, which does allow us to get in some later damage with flying, and Cetessan Battle Priest we already have one of, so it's not as super aggressive. So I think I'm actually going to take the Sandals here. At this point, I mean, I like our deck. It's okay. We may have some trouble if we get stopped in the early game. So here we're going to gladly pick up this Rage of Porphyros, giving us just a little bit of a removal. Not really anything here we need. We're going to take the Satyr Hedonist. We just don't want our opponent to use it to ramp into anything that we can't deal with. So. So we'll take the priest here just in case we need it. So we didn't pick up a lot of the things I wanted to see, but I think our deck's okay. We've got a lot of good heroic creatures, decent heroic creatures, a lot of enablers. We have a couple of bombs. I mean, we do have the Stormbreath Dragon and the Anger of the Gods, which will help. So we'll see. Silent Artisan, sure, why not? So I'm just waiting to build here. So let's see. Yes, no, yes, maybe, yes, 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 maybe, yes, maybe, maybe. Okay, so those are maybes. Yes, 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 no. Yes. Sideboard. Maybe. Yes. 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 Alright, that's 23. That's pretty good. Alright, let's take a look at our curve here. That's a pretty good curve, too. Okay, let's look at it. How many of these are? Let's see. We've got 14 creatures. Okay. Although Portrait of Betrayal is like a creature. So pretty decent curve. Pretty aggressive starts. I don't see any reason to play the Bronze Sable since we did pick up some 2-drops. This Silent Artisan might be nice at the top end of our curve, but basically what we're going to do is play a lot of early drops and then have removal in the late game to remove whatever opponent has managed to build up in that time frame. So this could theoretically be a 16 land deck, but having Stormbreath Dragon, Rage of Porphyros, and a lot of bestow creatures, I think it's better to keep it at 18 or at 17 lands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, So we want about a 2-to-1 ratio here. In 7, so like 9-6, 8, 10. I'm sorry, not 9-6. 9-8, 10-7, 11-6. We do have a couple. I think 10-7 is the right call. So Moto suggests 11-6, but I want to be able to cast. I think 10-7 is fine. We really just need one red source. Yeah, 10-7. I want to be able to hit white because we have a lot of good cards in white. So, all right. So I like this a lot. We've got some decent sideboard cards depending on the matchups we run into. We've got a pretty aggressive curve. We've got a good finisher here in Stormbird Dragon. Hopefully, we put away a lot of games with that if necessary. So, seems okay. We'll see how it goes. Not the best red heroic deck, but certainly capable of winning a few matches. Hopefully 3. So I'll see you back in round 1.